Now that we've learned about the structure of a sarcomere, we're going to move into cross-bridge cycling and how that occurs within each sarcomere. There are 5 steps in this process. The first step is beginning with the resting position. Right now, during the resting position, the cross-bridge is not attached to actin, so our myosin head is in its original position and has an ADP molecule and a phosphate molecule bound to its head. And during this, troponin and tropomyosin are covering those binding sites on actin, the thin filament. We first move into our second stage. This is where calcium binds to troponin, and this allows tropomyosin to slide and expose those myosin head binding sites on the actin filament. During this time, the cross-bridge binds to actin, and the myosin head releases phosphate, and this causes a conformational change in myosin. Our third step is when the power stroke occurs, and this actually causes the filaments to slide. So this is where the myosin head cocks forward and slides that thin actin filament across. During this, ADP is released. Then we move into our fourth step. This is where a new ATP binds to the myosin head, and this allows the myosin head to release from that actin filament. Moving into our fifth step, ATP is hydrolyzed, and this now allows ADP and phosphate to be bound to the myosin head. This also allows the cross-bridge to return to its original position, and that myosin head cocks back into its original position. And this cycle will continue to repeat until there isn't enough calcium within the sarcomere to keep binding to troponin to expose those binding sites on actin, the thin filament. So just to recap, our first step, we're at rest and the cross-bridge is not attached to actin. Our second step, cross-bridge binds to actin and myosin releases that phosphate molecule, causing a conformational change in myosin. Our third step, the power stroke occurs and our filaments slide, releasing ADP. Our fourth step, a new ATP is bound to the myosin head, and the myosin head releases from actin. And the fifth and final step, ATP is hydrolyzed into ADP and phosphate to myosin and returns this myosin head to its original position.